because there's nothing the church can do to convince me they're true. Nothing. Not a single Mormon can bear a false testimony to me to convince me I'm wrong. That's next Sunday, not this Sunday, tomorrow. Why can't Mormons understand this? I'm under full attack. My life is destroyed. And here I am, doing a video for you. And you still won't believe. I'm going to edit this last segment out and put it at the beginning. Travis Wayne Goodsell. I don't understand it. I'm pretty sure I don't have overdraft protection. But I still have internet. So, as much as there are still those who want me silenced, want me gone, want me dead, want me cast out of Utah, which is still going to happen, don't be fooled by my still having the internet. I'm still wanting to warn. You know, this isn't some fashion try-on or showing you how to do pottery or share my personal feelings. No, I'm literally warning you of the dangers, the deadly dangers of criminal corruption of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they've won, but I'm not dead yet. So, last night's video, my goodness, I was in pain. If I can still have access to the internet today, I'll work on the rest of Brigham Young's discourses. I've already got some key ones where he confesses to being the originator of polygamy, saying that Joseph Smith wasn't bright enough to think of polygamy on his own. And yet, despite that, people still believe Joseph Smith was responsible. That's how evil Brigham Young was. He was able to deceive generations, the whole world, into setting Joseph Smith up. And that's what I learned. I learned just by going over the discourses in the documents, looking for anything by Joseph Smith that is not in our Doctrine and Covenants, which I've already gotten the original 1835 Doctrine and Covenants and 1844, as well as the Book of Commandments, and there's Articles and Covenants or something like that, and the original Book of Mormon, original church history. I've got his journals, but there was some new stuff in the discourses, as well as some duplicates from the Times and Seasons, for example. They pulled out his words from the Times and Seasons, so that makes my life easier when I get around to restoring Joseph Smith's words. But it's a completely different organization. Nothing's the same. For example, Mormons believe they're Christian, that Jesus is their Christ, their God, right? Nope. Amen. Were Jewish Israelite Egyptians restored in the latter days. That is completely foreign to Mormons. They get offended, they get angry. That's the con that Brigham Young had set, the trap he set. It's a mind manipulation of deception, of evil. But if Mormons were to step back and go, but Jesus is in the Book of Mormon, yet there's Messiah and Jehovah and Amen, and I'm confused. So it's all just the same, it's all Jesus. No. And so I've tried to teach about how the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith history was also encoded. And apparently I'm the only one who knew the Doctrine and Covenants was coded. I mean, my goodness, that's one of the major things that was announced with the release of the 1981 triple combination. I was the first year seminary student using the full quad with the new upgrade. And I literally learned to annotate the footnotes, not just the text. And so I was well versed in Mormonism, being outside of Utah. But it shocks me that Mormons don't know this stuff that I know. I don't understand why you guys don't know this. Why you won't trust the Wikipedia page of list of code names in the Doctrine and Covenants. The church put that there because there's errors on it, but yet you still won't trust it. And so the administration was completely different. You know, I put the thumbnail picture yesterday. That was his authority, his authoritative paperwork, his certificate as an elder to go around and preach the gospel. That was it. That was all. He's not the keys of the kingdom. One of the big bombshells I saw was that there were several times when Joseph Smith reiterated that the 12 traveling apostles are to stay out of towns where there's a standing high council established. When the church is already established by them, it's time for them to leave and find another place. They have no authority over an established stake of Zion. And that was eye-opening for me. And I'm sure Mormons would be horrified. The whole church rests upon Brigham Young being the true successor. And he's not. That was not Joseph Smith's succession process for when he was gone. And I was always told that, Joseph died and didn't appoint a true successor, and so Brigham Young, being the president of the 12, automatically becomes the successor. No! It's all a lie, like lots of other things they've been telling us. Like Martin Harris's wife being responsible for the 116 pages, or Thomas B. Marsh's wife being responsible for his excommunication along with his wife for defending his wife's honor. No, all of those are lies. They never happened. And so, yeah, just bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. And I would love to do a whole series on what I learned. You know, I did notes, thinking that I could do a quick video last night. Other than what I did, I was too much in pain to do it, but I mean, dear God. And so, yeah, I finally had an answer to the question of why is only the 12 and the 70 referred to in section 107 about succession. Because the way it's set up makes you think, well, maybe the church is right that Brigham is supposed to succeed. No! No! It's because when that was given, it was to the 70 and the 12. He was setting them up, setting them apart, ordaining them. There's a whole list of licenses for becoming the various offices. And so after he gives the licensing, boom, there it is, 107. Ta-da! Oh, okay, got it. He's explaining to them their duty and responsibility, how it's supposed to be organized, having just set them all apart for it. Got it. But the church isn't telling us this. They keep it a sacred secret. What are you doing? Stop! I am going to get angry and start beating this mechanical device. Because that'll teach it a lesson. It won't retaliate by not working ever again. I mean, it's just, my God, to listen to the current prophets and presidents of the church now, going back in retrospect, they lie. Jesus is not our God, not our Christ, and yet they are tripling, quadrupling down. It must be Jesus. The name must be Jesus. That was Nelson's whole thing, where he screwed up the translation of cornerstone and capstone to make it the chief cornerstone of the cornerstone. And that they all claim authority they don't have. And they got it because Brigham Young exalted himself, confirming that yes, he was trying to get rid of them, but he was also posing scenarios so that he can say, oh, I had nothing to do with that. I don't know. You gave me revelation to go be with my family, Joseph. I found that. Oh my God, they call it revelation. And so I'm like, I doubt Joseph got revelation to tell Brigham to stop what you're doing. I'm getting revelation. You need to go back to your family. Oh, right before everything hits the fan. Plausible deniability. Joseph told me to go. Oh, dear God. And so, yeah, if you don't know, it's right before Liberty Jail. There's a revelation to Brigham Young telling him to go back to his family to take care of him. Right before the whole voter fraud incident caused by the Danite Mormons in that one town, where they threatened the judge to sign an oath to say that it was Joseph Smith that threatened him, when Joseph Smith wasn't even in the town. He was already confirmed being too far away in another town because of the documents that were written on the day that supposedly he was in the other town. And so yes, these documents are not only revealing, they also dispel the lies that have been going on, the frame up that Joseph Smith has been subjected to. I saw the one note that he had knew that he was going to, that he knew of the death threat against him, that people were trying to kill him. He knew that there was an inside job, a secret combination within his organization. So yeah, everything is there if Mormons would just read it. But yeah, there's tons of stuff in there. All hidden away are these things among licenses and deeds and other stuff. But I mean, dear God, for the church to just cover all this up, to have stuff removed purposely because it exposes them for their crime and fraud. Not just the 19 July 1840 or the King Follett Discourse or women in the priesthood. There were others just hidden away. I would scroll down searching for something of Joseph's words and find them hidden and buried. By 1842, last night, I started noticing I was making mistakes. I'm just grateful that I was able to finish it before the internet goes down, but I don't understand why it's not. So maybe you won't get this. Maybe I'll start uploading it and the internet will shut me down, and then it'll be stuck in limbo on YouTube. File uncompleted. But it was, all this causes me to reflect on an inspiration I received way back in the day. It was that of the premortal council in heaven, which Mormons have as their theology, and I was a part of it. Now, it's different from other Mormons who say, everybody was involved in the council, I was not left out. We were all a part of it. No, there were only 12. Sorry, it's in the Egyptian documents. Only 12. And those 12 were supposed to then go and teach the rest. So if that's not in our theology understanding, well, guess what gets to be restored? But no Mormon is interested. They create their own theology, their own doctrine. And until the prophets get up at conference and humiliate them for spreading their false beliefs, of which they just go into silence and hope nobody remembered that they were the ones that said such things, and then go back to preaching it because they believe that that prophet wasn't inspired. But that in the premortal council in heaven, I was the one who suggested that everybody be saved. And I had whispered it to Lucifer, and he then ran with it, decided, hey, I'm going to take it from him, usurp it from Travis, and be the one. But would then go on in this fantasy creation theology, which would be great for primetime entertainment here in Utah. You know, Saturday's Warrior or Saturday Night's Warrior or whatever it's called. You know, have a version with my theology in it. And so he and I were going around converting the demons of darkness, and 7 women, not 10 virgins. Which then again, if we're all children and we're male and female as spirits, you'd think that we therefore would be able to have children of our own as spirits. But otherwise, why would we need to be identified as male or female? There would be no purpose. Nonetheless, we'll leave that up to Star Trek to determine that scenario. And they came to me and were able to convince me of Heavenly Father's plan. And so I became converted and betrayed Lucifer. And so because I betrayed Lucifer, he was furious with me. I was among the council and betrayed him, like Baltar, Battlestar Galactica. Awesome show. I was going, hey, there's a lot of Mormon stuff in this. This is cool. Then came to find out that Glenn A. Larson, is it Glenn A or Glenn L? One of the Glens. One of the Larsons. He was Mormon. But and so that's how I reconciled my situation in life, is that I could never understand why I was therefore born in the church if I was the one who, well, other than I guess to say that I was the black sheep of Mormonism, that I was going back to my spirit world existence and my natural nature to be a rebel against the true church. But now I realize, taking the fantasy theology as truth, having been converted and coming down to earth, born and raised in the covenant of the great and abominable church, to then be converted out of it. It's just hilarious. You can't make a better movie for Mormons. You know, screw the singles ward or Pride and Prejudice Mormon version or whatever it was. And Saturday's Warrior. Maybe not Cypher in the Snow. I like that one. It breaks my heart that Mormons are just that evil. Nonetheless, yeah, that just boggles the mind. To make up a theology, but then realize, hey, that's on earth going on. I got converted out of the church. Holy crap, it's the great and abominable church of Lucifer. Huh. It's just mind-boggling. But nonetheless, you guys don't understand it because you didn't have it. So, Yeah, lots of Mormon myths answered. I heard things growing up. Nobody knew a source. It wasn't in our scriptures. People were just saying it. I found them. They may not be legitimate, as they may not be Joseph's, but I found them. I know the source. But, dear God, such as Noah as Gabriel, found the source. The bombshell on tithing, section 119, that's where we get our law for tithing, right? Joseph Smith, right? Because Kirtland Safety Society or the whatever bank thing failed, and so Joseph was doing tithing? No, he wasn't. He was doing law of consecration. And so again, confirming that's not Joseph's. I still need to do more work on it, but to get further confirmation without even, that was mind-boggling. And so, but yeah, 1844, 1841, 1832, he's all Amen Christ. It's just wild. And to see Brigham Young for his undated document or certification to go to Europe as what was not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That was never the official name. But there it was. I put it in the video for you after the thumbnail picture video. Or picture. But, yeah, the first one, it has the date, and it has the, he's authorized only to preach. But his European one, likewise, only to preach. But it's saying, it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No, it's not. And so I see what he's done, because he designated the name as he left for the Salt Lake Valley. He's going to Europe with the false name of the church that he's plotting to use when he takes it over. And so, yes, all of the Europeans go to Brigham Young. And then you got the tithing yard scandal that shut the church down after the death of John Taylor, or during the death of John Taylor, with the Edmunds-Tucker Act, which makes Wilford Woodruff the asterisk president until Heber J. Grant, when he finally reincorporated, having Mormons in key positions in government. But yeah, I couldn't find any marriage license for polygamy. They don't exist. You can say, well, they were done in secret, Travis. You can't have them known to the God. How are you supposed to know whose spiritual wife is whose if you don't have documentation? You're supposed to trust them? So that was another confirming. And yes, Higby is connected to the Joseph made a comment, zeal without knowledge. He was getting upset with the 12 who were converting vigorously, but they didn't understand the Book of Mormon, his concept of theology as Amen, not Jesus. And I related to that. So that caught my attention. But all of the marriage licenses were for monogamy. But yeah, I did bring it up in last night's video. Joseph Smith put Marsh in when, instead of having a rank succession. It's because Marsh, I think, was older than Brigham Young, and so an older person was placed as president. And so Brigham Young changed all that. And not only changed that, he got rid of Thomas B. Marsh so that he could then be in the position to make the change with the coup during the coup year, when he supposedly was away with his family helping them. God. And then, 1832, he even came out with a sample of the pure language, Amen. He phonetically spelled it out, A-W-M-E-N, rather than A-H-M-A-N. Amen. That's our Christ, Son God. But so many blessings in the beginning, all on record. For offices, when people get ordained to the office, you're supposed to give them a blessing. You've seen that in Elders Quorum. You've seen that in High Priest Group when we had it. It's now gone. Joseph Smith had the quorum of High Priests, as I found those too. But the concept of writing blessings down is gone in the church. They don't want you to do it. They don't want you bringing in your camcorders, your cell phones to record them, your other devices. They're not supposed to be kept a record. Not for baby blessings, not for blessings at baptism, not for priesthood blessings, none of that. And yet that's what it was done in Joseph's church. Everything was recorded. And so, if I snuck in a recorder for Melissa and Clayton's baby blessings, I don't know if they survived and if Stephanie transcribed them for them, if they still have them, but it wasn't right. And so yes, I became Lucifer of Lucifer's church. So a double negative is a positive? The black sheep of black sheep. Bah. That just cracks me up. So, alrighty, I don't want to make this too long. It's now 33 degree Masons time on the video timing. So, dear God, I mean, why are you still Mormon? Why do you not want to study the church? I'm born and raised Mormon. I'm studying the church. I'm learning the truth. Joseph Smith, the good guy, his church gone. I want it restored. How simple is that to understand? Why do Mormons hate me? That they want me dead? Unless they know that it isn't the true church. That they are the enemy that is seeking to overthrow America and the rest of the world. Even Russia. To stab Russia in the back. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because there's nothing the church can do to convince me they're true. Nothing. Not a single Mormon can bear a false testimony to me to convince me I'm wrong. That's next Sunday, not this Sunday, tomorrow. Why can't Mormons understand this? I'm under full attack. My life is destroyed. And here I am, doing a video for you. And you still won't believe. I'm going to edit this last segment out and put it at the beginning.